Hey guys, and welcome to my Cameo Elements of Power walkthrough, part 5. So in this one we will be catching Thermite, as you can sort of see him just there. We'll sort of be doing sort of various side quests that you can now do with Thermite, so for example where rocks are blocking people's doorways. Then we will be going on to tackle Thorns Pass, and then in my 6th video I will do Thorns Airship.
When
Feel free to check out the other walkthroughs whilst you're at it.
The Whatnot book will finally be full and your power at its greatest. Find some way to open that gate.
So basically with this part you need to attract the troll and get him to run into the trees that have the orange fruit hanging from them. So they sort of open and close. And sort of the way you attract his attention is one of those, I think it's called a boom boom plant or something like that. So just there.
Always here in the Whatnot.
You have to make sure that you run with these whilst I'm getting hit with bugs. It's quite annoying. Sometimes Ash can just destroy their nests, which is handy, sort of stops them spawning. So I've got to look and see which tree has got an open fruit. See those big green pepper looking things? Yeah, and I've got to throw it towards any one of them that's orange. But they open and close, so it keeps changing. And if you get too far away from the ogre, then he just doesn't hear it, which is really annoying. And he will hit you if you get too close, so just run away.
There's some expert advice from
So he hit me before I managed to throw it properly, so it didn't go off. Let's go find a new plant. Burn another nest while I'm at it. I hate those bugs. So again, just got to have a look for the orange fruit. Sort of get the fruit as close to the tree as you can, so that's like an ideal position. You can sort of see he's made a bit of a face there. And that should knock the fruit down. And basically, there's, I think, 3 holes with sort of steam pouring out of them. I hate those. And you need to plug them, and that basically sets off the gate which is blocking the shadow well. So there's one of them. So again, you need to find one of the boom boom plants. Just look for a tree with an open fruit. So here, I didn't have enough time before the fruit was going to close back up again. So if you're near the ogre, just sort of throw it in the general direction of the tree. It doesn't have to be right next to the tree. As long as he's running in the right direction, it should knock it off. Just avoid him punching me now. Got to find the second sort of steam hole thing. There we go. And there should be one more to go. So we've got a final boom boom plant here. Sort of throw it in the general direction of a tree and he should run into it. Again, just make sure it's one with the unopened orange fruit on it. There you go, he's knocked down the last one for us. Trying to get stung to bits. So they really don't want you to get this fruit, do they? Every now and again it can help to just sort of throw the fruit in the opposite direction to just distract him from wherever you want to be. Didn't quite work that time, but I've managed to get my fruit. So just need to look for the last steam hole. So that looks like it over there. And we have now unlocked Thermite's Shadow Well. I'm going to change my eye very quickly. Just so I don't get mauled to death, you know. One of the crystal eyes is also available at the end of this video, I believe. So that's the Eye of Strength, which you need to get before tackling both Thorns Pass and Thorns Eye's airship, because I use it in the final boss battle, because if you don't, it just takes forever. Nice, always appreciate a free fruit. Weirdly, I do find this Shadow Realm to be a little easier than the one with Flexim, just because it's a bit easier to anticipate the moves. So here you sort of see the skulls being launched at you, but they sort of come so slowly, they're fairly easy to dodge. I think it was with Flex's one, they spontaneously combusted, and it was really painful. 40 blows was much better. Right, so just sort of stay out of the massive bats, sort of do the usual flip kick on the light troll things. Hopefully this should not take too long. I might have mentioned before, it is handy when you sort of wear the shadow sort of light troll thing, because it's a lot easier to see sort of all the sort of attacks coming for you, and it, again, makes the shadow troll stand out a lot more, because at the moment you're sort of hidden in a big group of bats. So hopefully sort of the next hit will kill him. It's just how accurate my aim is whilst I'm being chased by a light troll. It's really annoying. Right. So, don't know how much to drop that. The earthquakes are annoying though, because they do make you drop the light trolls. I think they might be called lost souls as their technical word, but you get my point. Where's he disappeared to?
Remember, I'm always here in...
I think it took too long. It disappeared. So, grab hold of this. Keep running around in a circle. And sort of a general piece of advice, just keep moving around in a circle. Sort of, so you're less likely to sort of be picked up or hit. There you go, we now have Thermite. He's definitely
Kameo,
the most
can
powerful
you hear me?
elemental warrior.
Ortho? Do you hear someone calling my name?
No. Wait! I bet it's the old hag and the ancestors trying to contact you telepathically. Concentrate.
Kameo, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Mystic.
Very good. Now, listen to me carefully. Bring the Whatnot book back to me, to us, so we can make sure you're ready to face Thorn.
I'm ready now.
No! Racing off to fight him without preparation is exactly what he wants.
If Thorn wants a war, I'll give him a war.
Now you're starting to sound like your father. And I like it.
You insolent little child, you have no idea what you're dealing with.
Silence! Arguing will get us nowhere, and time is precious.
Wise, as always. But don't you also think, my dear ancestors, it would be wise for her to return to the Enchanted Kingdom before battling the dreaded Troll King?
Possibly. But if Kameo says she feels confident in her command of the elemental warriors,
It's clear the
then
Mystic's
I'd support her.
definitely in for
But she's
herself
only-
here. So if you
Enough.
weren't suspicious of her
It's
before,
decided.
you definitely are now.
Kameo, go forth and face Thorn with our blessing.
You're making a grave mistake.
We'll do what we can to rally the troops and come to your aid. Until then, fight for the honor of Solon.
For the honor of my father.
Fools! All of you!
This is a nice sort of test for Thermite there, so if you have to blow the rocks out of the way.
These are the elemental warriors that you have rescued or been
He is worth upgrading everything sort of as fast as you can, because he is just the most powerful warrior in the game. And I will run you through his skins in a minute once I've finished the upgrades. So these are the skins that you get if you have the rare replay version of the game. My favourite one has to be the Earth one, to be honest, because it's kind of nifty, so we'll stick with that. Okay, so what you have to do is click LT for mortar, and then RT for bomb. And also with all of those stone chests, you can destroy them with Thermite's bombs, and that's it really. So it's worth doing because around a third of the time they have a fruit in them, so that's kind of handy. Sometimes it's fun to just sort of blow up the trolls that reside here. Those annoying grass ones are starting to follow me. But don't get squished by bugs first. You can't go wrong using Ash against the grass troll. So just get caught in the inferno. So it's pressing the LT and RT triggers together and then pressing them together again. There's not much to do in the Ogre's Swamp from memory. Yeah, the trolls are just sort of more of a nuisance more than anything. So I should probably head off.
Is it tonight?
To be fair, now I have Thermite, I can sort of do one of the villagers' quests. So there's someone who has a big boulder in front of their door, basically, and then you have to just blow it up so he can get into his house again. There he is.
What do you want? I'm trying to get this boulder out of the way of me home, so I'm far too busy to talk with you. Push off.
So he's not being very polite about it, is he? There you go.
At last. That is, thanks. Here, take this for your troubles, and let's leave it at that. Oh, my aching back.
Now, I would have mentioned it in my Forgotten Forest video, so I think that's video 2 off the top of my head. That there's fruit sort of hanging from the sort of trees in this from here, but you can't get it without Chiller, so this is something we've had to come back for. But there you go, fruit's just dropped. Grab that. Annoyingly, I think you have to destroy the bug's nest before you can leave again. You see, you can't get out through the sort of little vines there, so you have to destroy this annoying nest. Which doesn't really make much sense, but it has to be done. So if the ideal sort of creature to use is Ash, but just when they keep bumping into you, they just sort of keep knocking you over. It's really inconvenient. So it's whichever you find easiest, to be honest. I have a funny feeling there's a fruit I've missed around the back of this guy's house, actually. There it is. Always good when it comes to upgrades.
Press the A button.
See,
to
we do
read
have
about
quite
the
a lot of
warriors
fruit,
at
so
your
we can sort of
command.
upgrade all our favourites sort of to the max with all their spirit ups. So it's up to you as to which ones you believe have the best sort of the need for the spirits up. Or you can just sort of follow my example here.
Chiller. Flex. "40 below. Ash. Major ruin.
With Major Ruin, personally, I don't like the hypercyclone spin. It's too erratic, but you know, we've got enough fruit to spare, so it's always nice to just give him the extra one. Right, on to Rubble. Get him a quick spirit up. Yeah, it's got quite a sweet little animation, to be fair.
Pummelweed. Ash. Deep blue.
Right, that should be everyone upgraded to the max. You sort of see that you're still missing that Eye of Strength, which I will teach you to go and get. First off, I'm going to do the mystery sort of fruit hunt. So with every video I've done, each town has had a sort of sign hidden around. And there's 5 signs off the top of my head, and you just need to find them all. So yes, I'm going to show you the locations of them all now.
I hope our kids are behaving themselves. Hey! Hello! You're looking well.
Oh, excuse me.
Seen any crows?
Look at that.
Hello there.
That's unusual.
Good to see you. I need a bigger net. Isn't that interesting?
This information must be
Perhaps you should
shared.
ask my wife.
Not so long.
So the next sign is sort of near these four-eyed tree things, like one-eyed tree. You sort of see it on the little island in the middle of the lake over there. The next sign's down that annoying beetle-filled branch thing, which is really annoying, which if I'd have planned it a bit better, I would have done that at the same time as sort of catching the last element of fruit, but hey ho.
Oh dear.
Personally, it helps to sort of be pummweed for as long as you can in this branch, as it does sort of tackle all the little beetles, etc. Because he's got that little razor top upgrade. Okay, so your sign should be here. There we go. So that's near Dill's house. So that's sort of right at the beginning when we first came into this level.
The trolls of no
Sort of the entrance to the Badlands, I think. There's the sign, and there's an extra fruit. So before we go to the Badlands and sort of begin with Thorns Pass, we're going to go back to the Enchanted Kingdom and get the Eye of Strength, because you can't go back here after you've started Thorns Pass as a level, annoyingly. So you want to make sure that you're fully equipped before you start the next bit.
Aren't you one of Gusta's children? Oh.
Wrong door. So you want to go to the Chamber of Living Portraits. So it's this one. So right in the middle of the room, there's the Eye of Strength. It sort of points it out to you. There it is. And the only way you can get that is by blowing up the statue with Thermite, which is the only reason I've not tried to get it before.
You have done this stuff. Has anyone seen my packet?
There you go, you've now got all four eyes.
Good grief, it's one of the fabled crystal eyes. I thought all of those had been destroyed, but for once I'm glad to be wrong. Legend has it that when they were equipped through the Whatnot book, the elves...
Now, I'm sure if you dash into some of these pots, one or two of them has got fruits in. Oh, that was a good guess. There is also the 12th elixir of life, sort of just in front over there, which means that we have sort of over the videos collected all 12. And I think we have most of the fruits. I think we've got something like 93 or 94 out of 100. Obviously there are more, but it's not easily doable as you're trying to sort of do a sort of easy walkthrough. Right, so we have got everything we needed, sort of in terms of equipment, and we should head off to the Badlands. For some reason they take your horse away for this last bit, but to be fair, once you get a speed up whilst Thermite's in shield, so holding LT and RT, you do move pretty fast. Sort of. There you go, it's a good example. Sort of you use some momentum of going down hills and yeah, just don't stop. It helps to have the Eye of Shield equipped for this, not like Shield, Eye of Spirit, just because that sort of helps replenish it quickly. Now that you've got all the warriors, it is worth sort of checking all the huts in the Badlands. Sort of that's a good example, because you'll normally find skins. And if you've not done the warrior trainers challenges by now, they are worth a go. So once you have Thermite, you can now do the Elemental Evil one. But, this one is for Beetle Brawl, so it's more of just a reminder. But you can sort of go up to him, ask to do it. And if it's your first time, he'll give you a fruit. Anytime after that, he just gives you a bit of money.
Very well. Accept.
So whenever you see stone chests, try and throw them up with Thermite, because more often than not they'll have something good in them. So there you go, that one had an elemental fruit in it. I managed to set myself on fire, which was a bit clumsy. Let's just change to any fire type warrior and that will sort of extinguish itself. This next house is another one of the elemental warrior things, warrior trainer, sorry. And this one is for Pumpkin Panic. Again, the first time you do it, he'll give you a fruit, but sort of after that's just money. Weirdly enough, I'm funny feeling I've not actually done that one. So, start heading off this way, which will be sort of covered in trolls and soldiers. It depends, you can sort of stay around to fight them, but it is easy to just roll through with Thermite. But it is handy sort of to use his little bombs, so LT and then RT, to blow up any tanks. So the house to the left, I think we've covered everything that was in that, so we'll turn to the right. I think there's 2 more houses down here. As you can see, we've already been in this one. Sort of behind those crates was a fruit, but we've already collected that. Just sort of proving the point there. Sometimes hitting sort of cauldrons and stuff with chiller works, but in these houses it doesn't, annoyingly. Sort of, there you go, doesn't do anything. Let's move on to the next one. So this next one should have the Warrior Trainer's Elemental Evil challenge in it. Which, again, like the others, it will get you a fruit. Oh look, free fruit. I think this one also has Troll Trouble, so I think this one's got 2 for some reason. And I did Troll Trouble in one of my earlier videos, so this one I should do Elemental Evil, which is you have to have all your warriors for.
Back again. These are the rules of the challenge. Make sure to stick to them, as I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
So for this one, you want to try and use a combination of ash and deep blue. So you can just sort of use a little ink, sort of flaming ink thing. There's a couple that doesn't work on, so for example the little fire trolls or those annoying sort of water ones that you have to squirt and then either drag down into the drag pool that Deep Blue does, or use pummel to sort of beat them up. So this basically goes on until he either runs out of trolls. But yeah, it's fairly easy to beat the 40 sort of goal that they've set sort of in the middle of the screen up there. These ones are just annoying because they're always throwing bombs at you. These guys are easier than they look. You just sort of keep throwing bombs at them. Eventually you clear them all. So these ones, the easiest way to get rid of them is with Ash's incinerator. As you see, they just sort of get close and then get pulled into it. So it's sort of nice and quick. For some reason, sort of the ink suggestion that I sort of said with the first trolls we battled, it doesn't work quite as well. You see what I mean? So yeah, best way is to sort of pull them into this incinerator. Oh, these ones are painful because we've got to expose them before sort of getting rid of them. We have reached the 40 sort of limit there, which is good. So we will be getting a fruit out of this. But yeah, you've just got to keep going until the timer runs out. And it's up to you how many times you sort of fancy doing this challenge. So it might be nice to beat your personal score. They have given me a little bit of kicking there, so it's very helpful to sort of take a brief break and put the Eye of Restoration on, which you get in the Enchanted Kingdom under the seashell near the shop stand. I did explain that in one of my first videos, so the first or second one. And as soon as you're healed, quickly sort of go back to the ice spirit, because your spirit bar takes longer to regenerate when you've got the regeneration eye on. See how long it takes to get rid of these guys. It sort of becomes a bit of a nuisance in the end. But we're down to the last minute. Sort of try and pick them off one by one. It's almost impossible to pick them off in bulk. Sort of now you have run out of rounds, so basically he just gives you a bit of everything. Sort of do a little bit of the sort of flaming oil that gets rid of the sort of easy grass type ones. So that will suck up a couple of them as well. These thermites sort of dispatch maybe the fire trolls and the annoying rock ones. Just don't do what I just did and walk straight into your own bomb.
Most impressive. Take this reward for a job well done.
There you go. Got a fruit out of it.
All right, be on your way.
And just remember it's easier to move using Thermite in his little shield. Not his back blast, his shield. Get rid of a couple of tanks whilst we're here. Tanks is not to get too close when you're throwing the bombs, so they sort of very often bounce back at you, as you can sort of see it's happened to me. So just quickly pop an eye of restoration on. It helps to sort of either throw bombs at these trolls, or you can sort of use ash and deep blue. You then have to destroy sort of the tank at the back, and then once sort of they're all gone, you have to sort of keep throwing bombs at the two gates there until they basically break down. The good method is sort of aim for the bits with the holes in. That tends to be what I do. There you go, gate's open, and Thorns Pass is now open. With this guy, you're meant to sort of use pummelweed to punch him in the jaw, but to be honest, if you just throw a bomb at him with Thermite, it does the same thing. And once he's sort of unconscious, it is basically points his head upwards. Keep sort of shooting chiller spikes at it. Okay. And annoyingly, those trolls in armor next to him, you can only destroy them with Thermite, so you need more bombs. It's basically rinse and repeat until you kill the big troll and he'll open the gate for you. There tend to be a few trolls that sort of pop up here that you can fight afterwards. Personal preference, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. There's also these two towers there, you just throw a bomb at them and they collapse. So it's a nice easy kill. But when you're bored with that, sort of you dash up this little ramp here. And you need to shoot the padlocks. They're similar to sort of in previous levels. So the top and bottom one on the left and the middle one on the middle. Sorry, the middle one on the right. Try and get that right. So this is your boss battle for this level. His name is Lord Drok, I believe. And he basically just walks around being a bit of a nuisance, but you don't actually fight him until the end. And to be honest, he is the easiest boss of the lot, and I'll show you a hack when I get to him. So these guys are fairly easy to kill, you just sort of use chiller, a couple of spikes up there. That's just part of a cutscene that happens regardless. It's just good timing on my part. Yeah, when you're maybe bored with them, when you've killed them or whatever, I'll give myself a quick eye of restoration there. Splash was so annoying. But yeah, you throw a bomb at the little wooden gate, and that will open up a sort of lava ramp for you to go down. Yeah, when you go down the sort of lava, make sure you hold the shield, otherwise you will just die. And make sure you sort of stay central. If you end up sort of falling into one of the edges or crevices or whatever, you'll end up stuck there, and eventually the spirit will run out and your shield will drop. those black things with lava, and they're sort of big nests for these, I don't know what you want to call it, scorpion-like things. So you can just sort of use the bombs to destroy them, use the bomb to open up that, and use Major Rune to go through.
Remember, Athena is being held somewhere here, most likely by Thorn himself. Well, this time you've got all the elemental warriors at your command, so let's find Thorn and settle the score.
Right, so you want to use Thermite to sort of break open that bit. Preferably not by walking into your own bombs. And these is sort of just, like I showed you before, they're just little scorpion nests that's easily destroyed. Same process before, sort of toss a bomb into the sort of gap there, and it will open up a new little gate for you. Thermite's backblast move is very handy if you want to pick off trolls sort of when they're in the middle of fighting soldiers, and maybe you don't want to kill the soldiers, and then just sort of blast them off into nowhere. Make sure you sort of blow up all these little tower things here because they've all got trolls at the top of them. This bit is a little bit delicate to sort of do rush and then immediately spin into another rush, otherwise you just end up rolling off the edge. And these guys, you have to destroy them with Thermite's bombs. No other ways to do it, and then once they're all gone, the gate will open up for you. Probably equip the Eye of Restoration quickly, just so I don't accidentally die. There we go, gate's opened up, and we need to use Major Rune to sort of dash up that little ramp there. I should switch back to the Eye of Spirit whilst I remember. Again, these dudes, they're not too difficult, they're just a couple of bombs and they're gone. You can drop the big sort of swinging things on them, but it doesn't do quite the same damage. Unless it stood right underneath it, just like that one was, I guess. So this one won't do as much damage because he's not sort of stood directly underneath it. I'll just sort of show you now. At the end of this, those annoying fire trolls always sort of pop out. Yeah, you can either sort of throw bombs at them, sort of use deep blue, sort of blast some water at them. It's his personal choice. And basically need to get through that bit at the end. This is like the troll at the beginning of the level. Just make sure he gets a bomb underneath the chin and use Chiller to sort of knock him out, and he'll open up the next bit for you. Again, you can stay and sort of fight these ones for as long as you like. They do eventually run out. It depends how much XP you want. Right, so you want to dash with Major Ruin over to the left there. Sometimes it does take 2 attempts, but there you go. That's pretty much how you do it. You need to use Major Ruin again to sort of dash over these 2 gaps. And those annoying trolls sort of come and spin in the little shells there. You've got to get rid of them. And then the gate will open up to the final boss battle. I'm just giving you a quick preview of him there. Personally, I find it easier to sort of get rid of all the other trolls before I tackle the ones in the shells, just because they're sort of a bit of a nuisance. It's the usual rule of sort of keep avoiding them until the spikes go back in, and then back underneath, and flip it back up. So don't give them a chance to run away because they just run straight back onto the shells. And just basically rinse and repeat 3 times, I think. This always confused me the first time I played it. You basically got to shoot 2 dragons down with Chiller. Any 2 dragons, it's just they'll start flying towards you. So that was a bit too late. So there you go, in for this one. There we go, finally going down. And then one more and the gate should open.
This status page
Again, you can sort of stay behind for as long as you like. Depends how much XP you're trying to build up. But you will need Snare and Chiller for the final bit. So the trick with this guy is to sort of get him to almost hit you. So it's, you need to run away once his hammer starts coming down. So now move, and then that will sort of cause him to laugh. And when the hatch opens, you need to strike with a Killer. That doesn't hurt him, but it releases Magmites, these tiny little black creatures. You need to sort of root yourself as Snare, sort of rack backwards and forwards, and just cover him in as many of these as you can. And try not to strike them before you can sort of completely cover him in them. As that's the hack to sort of get him in one shot. So once you've got enough though, sort of act very quickly because he will start to brush them off if he finds that he's got too many on him. But I'm hoping that will not happen in today's walkthrough. So that's probably enough, so just move out of the way, and you just use Chiller to strike any one of the black things and they sort of set off a chain reaction. And there you go, our boss is done in one hit, nice and easy. Right, so the next bit leads on to Thorn's airship, which will feature in my next video. Feel free to like, subscribe, check out some of the other videos, and see you next time. Yeah, bye!